Join BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA YouTube channel and watch serial 99 percentilers teaching you the tips and tricks.
Good noon, all of you. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible. Good noon. So a lot of conversations already happening in the chat box. Good noon, Shri Vishnu. Good noon, Modi Sarkar 2.0. Good noon, Varun. Good afternoon, Sanil. Good noon, Kashish. Hi, Varun. Yes, I'm doing well. I hope the same for you. Good noon, Om. All right. Okay. So waiting for more of us to join. Now today is an interesting session, phrasal verbs. I have specially kept it because a lot of you said, okay, what are the sources from where we can learn phrasal verbs? How to practice them? They seem to be tricky, or there seem to be so many meanings to one phrasal verb. Okay. So we thought to have a dedicated session on phrasal verbs, right? So we'll be discussing, of course, a lot of them today. Okay. And the idea is, of course, to help you understand that one is that you increase your knowledge of phrasal verbs over a long time. That happens through reading. That's one route. Okay. The shortcut, of course, is learning more and more phrasal verbs that you can get hold of. So I have already suggested you some sources. I will suggest you some more sources from where you can learn phrasal verbs for your exams. Right? Okay. Good noon, good afternoon, all of you who just joined. Dharmi, Aman, Harry, Nandraj. Good noon, Tulshi, Roosters, Srishti, Rutuja, Disha. Yes. So you were asking about it yesterday also. I forgot to tell you about this book. Okay, so it's called Homo Deus. Now it's a sequel to another book called Sapiens. Both of these have been written by an Israeli historian. His name is Yuval Noah Harari. Right. So in the first book, he talks about our history, right? A brief history of humankind, right? So, how we were hunter gatherers earlier, then, agricultural revolution happened, then scientific revolution happened. So, how we reached where we are today, right? In the second book, Homo Deus, Deus means God. Okay, let me just spell it for you. Just a second. Right. So, Deus, Homo Deus. Deus, this means God. Okay, even in the word adios, this Deus is actually present. Basically, when we say goodbye to someone, in a way we are saying, may God be with you. Okay, so Deus is present even here. Now, Homo Deus, Dio Volante, if you remember, we did this phrasal verb, this migratory word in one of our sessions, right? So, this is about how human beings today have sort of become and are on this path to becoming gods, wherein they want to control everything through technology, through science, through artificial intelligence, etc. Right? They want to control happiness. They want to become immortal. Right? So it's not I mean, it's not something that is out of the world. If you look for evidence, okay, if you look for evidence in science, you will already find it happening, okay, in the world of artificial intelligence, in the world of genetics. So he talks about these things in this book, right? And that's why our yesterday's discussion on genetic reengineering, had this reference, right? So that is what this book is about. I find it very interesting because apart from just science and artificial intelligence, it also talks about all the myths, the fictions that we have created, all the stories that human beings tell themselves, right? So religion is also a story, a product of our imagination. So is money. So it talks about all these things. So pretty interesting. I can go on talking about it for an hour, but that's not what we have met for. So let's begin our session for the day. Okay. All right. Batch 3, I'll have to check. Come on, you tunes, I'll have to check. Okay. I'm good, Vishal. Hope the same for you. Good noon, all of you who've just joined us. Right now, let's begin with our session, word usage. So, here, how I'll ask you these phrasal verb questions, I'll give you a word. This word will be used in different ways. Basically, you will encounter phrasal verbs in multiple sentences here. Okay, that's what will happen. So, what are phrasal verbs? A verb plus a preposition or an adverb. A verb plus a preposition or an adverb. Why is it so special? Because they have fixed meanings. It's a part of vocabulary and not grammar, right? These phrasal verbs have fixed meanings, and that's why you have to you have to know these meanings, right? So let's look at our first question, make, and four options here, and you have to find out which is the incorrect one. Okay, three out of these four sentences are correct. Tell me which is incorrect. Yes. Namaste, Vicky. All right, let's see. My eyes are on the chat box. All right, so I've got Achha, so D is correct. Okay, A incorrect. I want the incorrect one. Okay, Roosters is saying C, Harry A, Aditya D, and Sri Vishnu is saying B. So I've got all the options. Pranita A, good noon Anand, Pragya A, all right. Okay, Dharmi B, Deepika A, Vicky A, Kindle C. All right, so I'm getting varied responses here, but I have got some A's here. I can filter that out that a good chunk of you, a good proportion of you are saying A, right? So A is the answer, absolutely correct. So can you give me the correction also? How can I correct it? Contentment makes true happiness and a long life. This is incorrect. So how can I correct it? I can correct it by writing contentment makes for happiness. Okay. So, yes, these lectures are absolutely useful for MHCT. Okay. See, phrasal verbs basically are a part of vocabulary. Vocabulary is asked in MHCT. Questions on phrasal verbs have been asked in the previous year papers, right? And not just MHCT, even for all your non-CAT exams, they are very essential. Okay, IFT, SNAP, and MAT. Those especially, SNAP and NMAT because they are geared towards vocabulary. Also in CAT, they'll be helpful for easy comprehension of RC passages. Okay. Phrasal verbs are used in an ample number in your various, in any written article, in any text. Okay. So a better understanding of them helps you to sail through smoothly through your RC passages. Right. Now, contentment makes for, basically contentment produces, makes it possible. That's what I wanted to say. Contentment makes happiness and a long life possible. So to make something possible, to produce, that is the meaning of the phrasal verb makes for, right? So here this 2 is incorrect. B, I can't make out the meaning of this message. What does this person want to say? I can't make out the meaning of this message. Yes. So what is this person trying to say? Not able to understand. To be able to make something out is that you're able to distinguish it, you're able to discern it, you're able to understand it. Okay, so distinguish, discern, understand. Discern, understand. See, in the next sentence also we have used this phrasal verb correctly. His handwriting is atrocious. It's like someone has committed an atrocity on you. It's that bad. His handwriting is atrocious. I can't make out a single word of his prescription. So we're probably talking about a doctor here, right? It is rumored that the couple have made up. The couple have made up after their quarrel. So to make up, has multiple meanings, this phrasal verb. Can you give me some to make up? Good. Correct. For make out, absolutely correct. Interpret, understand, comprehend. You are absolutely correct. Not able to understand. Yes. So my question is, make up. There are so many meanings to this one phrasal verb. So that's the challenge, or if you want to look at it the other way, that's the beauty of phrasal verbs. One phrasal verb can carry multiple meanings. So he makes up stories. That means he invents stories. He invents these wild stories, right? Then, if I say that, let's say there's a bucket. If I say water makes up half of this bucket, there is some other liquid. So water makes up. That means this bucket is composed of, or water occupies half of the space in this bucket. Water makes up. So that's another meaning. Okay, makeup is, again, you understand what makeup is. So if someone gets made up, they get ready by applying makeup on their face. Okay, so that is one meaning of makeup. Any other? Opposite of breakup, yes, that's the meaning here, that they patched up. Correct. The opposite of breakup, they patched up. To concoct a false story, to be full of or filled with. Correct. Uh, make out meaning something different in a negative connotation. It is not a negative connotation. I mean, if let's say you're talking about two people making out, kissing each other, that's not negative, right? So yes, make out means that also. That's an informal way of using this phrasal verb. Okay. All right. Then what else can make up mean? So basically something, when we put together something. So for instance, if someone makes up, uh, prepares the ingredients. So I have made up the mix. I have made up the batter for this. That is also correct usage. Okay. So I have made up the batter. Now we can proceed with baking it. Right. So make up means that also. So yes, number of meanings for make up. I hope you've understood all of them and we can proceed. Right, right. Okay. Yes, yes, something that is made up. It's an invented story. It's a concocted story, as Vishal is talking about, a falsely concocted story. Correct. Okay. So I hope these are clear to you. Make for, make out, made up or make up, right? These have multiple meanings, right? And yes, the best way, I think, if you want to have a comprehensive understanding, okay, of the meaning of a phrasal verb, the best way out is the dictionary only, right? So if for instance, if you look up again a phrasal verb, if you look up the phrasal verb make up in the dictionary, you will find so many entries. Okay, you will find 3 to 4 entries with sub entries. So the best way out is the dictionary. Okay, however, of course, how will I look up? I don't even know how many phrasal verbs are there. So how will I look them up in the dictionary? So another route is that you learn from a list. So Renan Martin, I have told you, I think 250 times now, that it has 250 phrasal verbs, approximately 250 300 phrasal verbs that you can learn from there, right? Then Vocab 24 also gives you a free list of some phrasal verbs, right? Apart from that, I suggested this podcast to you, The Language We Speak by BBC Radio. Okay, so some of the phrasal verbs there are pretty useful for you by BBC Radio. So you can see wherever phrasal verbs are there, no, in the name of the podcast, just listen to that, right? So the language we speak can help you. Apart from this, for phrasal verbs specifically, see, although there is this whole website called phrases.org.uk that has a number of phrasal verbs out there, but again it's an A to Z list, a pretty comprehensive list. So I think what you can do is you can download some app, or you can keep visiting this website and just learn their phrasal verb of the day. That can be done. That's not going to be much of an effort, right? So this website has a comprehensive A to Z list, and you can download some idioms and phrasal verbs kinds of apps also. There are a lot of them. Okay, most of them are named this only, idioms and phrasal verbs. Right? Okay, so I hope now the sources are also there with you, and I've got some answers also. B is incorrect, then C. All right, so B versus C. B versus C. Okay. Guess the date and time of our new upcoming series, Last Lap to MHCT. I just announced it yesterday. You don't have to guess. So you can just mark it in the poll. All right. Quite a few of you are giving the wrong answer here. Acha, okay, ठीक है. The percentage has changed. Some of you are giving the wrong answer there. So B, C primarily. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay. Now, mothers generally pass off the faults of their children. They pass over the faults of their children. To pass over is to ignore. Okay, they ignore the faults of their children. Right. It's also used in another sense. You know, for instance, he was passed over for the promotion. That means he was neglected, he was not considered. So to ignore or to not consider. So if someone is passed over for a job, for a promotion, that means they are not considered. And to pass over the faults of your children means to ignore them. Right? So B is the answer here. He passed himself off as a guard. This is correct. To pass yourself off as someone is to pretend to be that person and to convince the other person that yes, you are that person. Right? So pass off. Right? So this is correct. No error here. He hoped the copy of the painting would pass for the original. Yes. So to pass off, we have learned it means to, pretend to be someone and then convincing the other person. What does pass for mean? Is it different or is it the same? Pass for. Yes. So again, this has a similar meaning. It has a similar meaning. If I'm saying that the copy of the painting would pass for the original, that means the other person would think that it is original. That means it will, let's say it will do the job. Okay. That it will work as the original, that the other person will be convinced that it is the original. So pass off and pass for have similar meanings. Right? Pass on, yes, to pass on a responsibility is to actually hand it over to someone. So that is to pass on. You can pass on your learnings, you can pass on your assets also. Okay, so pass on is to basically bequeath, to give, to hand over. All right. Now, let's come to this one, the first one we haven't discussed. No, I was passing by. This is easy. A passerby. The word passerby has also come from here. Passerby. Okay, so a person who is crossing the road, basically passing you by, doesn't necessarily have to be crossing the road. I was passing by and thought of dropping in. See, even to drop in is a phrasal verb. You literally didn't just drop from thin air. That's not the idea. That's why it's a phrasal verb. It has a specific meaning. To drop in is to just go to someone's house, to go to someone's place for a brief period of time. That is to drop in. Right? Okay. Proverbs, idioms, and phrasal verbs, what is the difference? Okay, I'll just clarify that. Let me just erase this. Yes. Idioms. Whenever I ask this question in the class, the answer that I get is idioms muhavre hote hain, proverbs lokoktiyan hote hain. Right? So basically, idioms is a group of words. It's a group of words that carries a metaphorical meaning, which is different from the literal meaning. Okay, different from the literal meaning. So I often give this example. If I say I am over the moon, but you would say that no, you are sitting here, you are teaching us. So over the moon simply means I am happy, not literally over the moon, right? So that's why it's a metaphorical fixed meaning. Okay, both idioms and proverbs, they have become popular because of usage. Some people started using them in a particular way, it just picked up, okay, and they became popular. Now, proverbs, on the other hand, these are sayings. These are usually, in the nature of morals of the stories. These are sayings, and usually they've been derived from stories, from folklores, from religious scriptures. Okay, stories from where? Religious scriptures, folklores, etc. And again, they became popular over time. There is no use crying over spilled milk. Yes, a stitch in time saves nine. These are proverbs. Phrasal verbs are more in the nature of idioms, right? So phrasal verbs, simply they are a specific group of words with a verb plus a preposition or an adverb. Okay, so it is a type of idiom that has a verb plus a preposition or an adverb. Hope this is clear. All right. Then pass for, yes. Repeating. Then beating around the bush. No. To beat about the bush, to beat around the bush. These are idioms. Okay, beat around, beat about, both are correct. Okay, idioms. So To beat around the bush. There is no saying here. No, there is no moral. Yes. So it's simply an idiom. Now, pass off was incorrect here because pass off means that you convince the other person, okay, that you are a guard in this case. Okay, you convince the other person that you are someone. So here it should have been pass over. Pass for, again, it will do the work of, it will do the job of, it will work. Okay, it will do the job of, it will do the work of. That's the idea basically. Chal jayegi. That's the idea. Okay. All right then. Let's have a look at the next question. Proverbs usually, yes, they are complete sentences. Okay. And Amrit, this is, this is not the criteria on which we are differentiating between the two, right? Usually, yes, however, what you are saying is true. But the main difference is that proverbs are basically a product of stories, folklores, sayings, morals that guide you, that what you should do, right? Those are proverbs. Whereas idioms may not carry any moral to them. So if I say I'm over the moon, there's no moral there, right? So that's the difference. Okay, immunity and protect. So basically, if immunity, it's used in a sense. So for instance, if I say he has diplomatic immunity, that means he has this protection that because he's a diplomat, no one will probably be able to file a case against him or arrest him. So in one sense, yes, immunity means protection, right? Honesty is the best policy, yes. Okay, B, C, A. All right. Getting multiple responses, but I've got quite a few B's. Quite a few B's here. The staff was glad, yes, to see into the back. No, nobody wanted to see into the back of the moody visitor. Is this into required? This into is not required. They were just happy to see the back of the moody visitor. If you want to see the back of someone, that means you just want to get rid of them. You want them to go, to leave, right? There's this quote by Oscar Wilde, no, that some people cause happiness wherever they go. Some people cause happiness wherever they go. Others whenever they go. Right. So the latter category is what we are talking about. All right. Others whenever they go. So the staff was glad to see the back of the moody visitor. Now, C also I got, so let's discuss. We have enough buffer stock in the go downs to see us through. So to see someone through something, to see someone through something. Okay. There's this song. I just recall that song when I was looking at this question. This song, You Took My Heart Away. So he says, but you saw me through. So the guy is going through a tough time and he tells his girlfriend, but you saw me through. Right? So to see someone through something, that means to basically support them during a tough time. So here he's saying this buffer stock is enough to support us in the throughout the year. In fact, when if ever we face a tough time, we'll be able to have the back of this buffer stock, right? So to see someone through something to support them during difficult time. He acts friendly, but I could see through. Okay, so now to see through someone, to see through someone, see such minute differences. To see someone through versus to see through someone, different meanings. If I'm able to see through you, that means if there is something fishy there, I'm able to sense it. I'm able to again distinguish, discern. Okay, you can't fool me in that case. So he acts friendly, but I see through him. He's a hypocrite, right? So see through someone, different things. And to see someone off, this is very, very easy to bid them goodbye. All right. Okay. Okay. Now, into is redundant. Correct, Amrit. See through means Yes, yes, you're able to see that. All right. Any other query? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay, but ma'am, it's exceptional. Can we use protect as synonym of immunity? If let's say in the option, I think I know where you're coming from, Anand. If let's say you attempted a question on synonyms and there was no better option, then absolutely yes, we can use protect as a synonym of immunity. Okay. All right. See, to see someone through, that means to support them. So my parents saw me through the recession, let's say, or his friends saw him through his breakup. Okay. Pass by is wrong and it carries no meaning. In fact, it should have been no, to pass someone by. So again, see again, I'll quote from Ruskin Bond. He wrote this song. It is not the life that is passing by. It is you and I, right? So to pass by is simply to go by someone. Okay, to basically when you are going by someone and they don't even notice you, right? That is to pass by. So to pass by is a legit phrasal verb. The word passerby has been made from it. Earlier passer was a different word, by was a different word, then they were joined using hyphenation, then the word became so common that the hyphen was removed. Okay, so that's how the word passerby was formed. Okay, all right, all right. See you off. To see someone off, I'm going to see him off. Yes, so basically I'm going to say goodbye to him. Okay, please see me off at the airport. So say goodbye to me at the airport. Okay, yes. Bystander, people who keep standing and don't do anything. Correct. They are bystanders. Pass by and passer by. बच्चे बताया तो सही है, to pass someone by. To pass someone by or to pass by someone, both are correct. By someone or to pass someone. Basically, when you just go while coming in close contact with them but unnoticed. That's the idea. That is when you pass by someone. Okay, so I passed by this guy many times in the street, but I didn't know until now that he was my neighbor. Right? Passerby is a noun. Okay, so you were a passerby for that guy, and that guy was a passerby for you. Passerby is a person, right? All right. Logophobia is the fear of words. Logophobia, fear of words. Yes, see off is as good as goodbye. A, D, all right. Others, let's see. To act up. See, act up has been used in two different contexts here. He acted up in class to get the attention of the teacher. What did he do? Did he behave nicely? He started answering all the questions of the teacher? No. To act up means to behave badly. To behave badly. So he acted up in the class to get the attention of the teacher. Now, my rheumatism, we are talking about a disease here, was acting up in the cold weather. So a lot of times, some of the diseases of people, they become active in certain weathers, right? So here in cold weather, this became active. This became active. So it was acting up. Okay, so that's the meaning here. Now, some people also say my car is acting up. My car is acting up. That means that it is malfunctioning. Your car is not a disease, so it can't really become active. Okay, it in a way it's behaving badly as a car can do. It's malfunctioning, right? Yes, it flared up. Correct, correct. Okay. A fluent English speaker, the first step is that you become a fluent, you become a consistent listener. That's the first step. Okay, so listen to what all you can listen. Of course, the news is there, but a lot of students don't want to watch the news. So, apart from that, you can watch a lot of series. So, for instance, if you want to pick up British English, let's say, then you watch shows that use British English, right? There are a lot of good shows like that. And lately, I've become a big fan of podcasts, right? I keep recommending them to you. So you can listen to various podcasts. So stories through podcasts, okay, or English podcasts. So for instance, I'll suggest one called 6 Minute English. It's a very basic podcast. They tell you something through a story, and then in the latter half of the session, they basically make you pay attention to the phrasal verbs, to the words that have been used in that story, right? So that way you are picking up vocabulary also, and you are immersing yourself in a language, which is the way to learn any language, right? Another very important thing is be open to making mistakes. In fact, it's essential to make mistakes. Okay, in the beginning, a lot of students want to be a fluent speaker right on the second day of their speaking, right? That does not happen. Okay, it does not happen with me even today. It does not happen with almost anyone. Okay, all of us while conversing, we care a little less about grammar and a little more about just communicating ourselves clearly, right? So don't be very bothered about, okay, where should this verb be placed? Oh, I spoke this incorrectly. So don't inhibit yourself like that right in the beginning. Okay, be open to making mistakes, and gradually, as you listen more, as you read more, okay, and as you speak more, very important, okay, speak it even if incorrectly. And in fact, it's if you speak incorrectly, all the better, you learn something for the next time. Okay, and that's how you become a fluent speaker in the long run, right? Okay, hope this works. All right, a lot of discussions happening in the chat box. Let me just have a look. Up on should be together. Up on, just a second, up in the cold weather. Okay, at this, but you see, this is wrong. No, this is the answer. The committee will act on the findings of the report, on the findings mentioned in the report, or on the findings, usually we use of the report, right? So will act on. Up is not required at all here, right? To act as someone, to act as dash, that means to basically play that role, to play that role, to be in that position. That's the idea, right? So hope this is clear. Okay, what has happened? Acted smartly, we can say, or act up. Okay, he acted smartly. Um, for act up, but he. Okay, you're trying to be smart when we say this. Okay, are you trying to be smart with me? Okay, but that's a different expression, not act smartly. Okay, if I tell someone, are you trying to be smart with me? And I say it in this tone, that means I warn them that, okay, don't try to be over smart, right? To act smartly is a positive thing. It's a compliment that, you are acting in a very quick manner, let's say, and it's a smart thing that you did. So, no. Throwing tantrums, acting up, correct, correct, correct. Attention seeking behavior, yes. Uh, all right. So I always watch TED Talks. Yes, that's also a very good source to improve your fluency. Good. All right. Anything else? The pronouns have found themselves till here as well. The he she debate that was happening. Yes, pronouns is a very and in fact I think the English pronouns are very outdated. They need to change them. We just recognize two genders, and the third is of course non-living and for animals and children. We need to have some gender neutral pronouns there, right? Which are recognized even in written English and not just our spoken English, right? Because sometimes I also face this challenge that if I'm chatting with you and I don't know whether, let's say, how you identify, I don't know that, and I just simply refer to you as he or she on my own, then that's not fair to anybody, right? And if I keep on addressing you as they, students keep thinking that why am I referring to them in plural, right? So anyway, so coming to the next question, over. uh, this is the word. It has been used in four different ways, not multiple ways. Let's see which is correct. I often find phrasal verbs too difficult. Naveen, it's not a very easy area, to be very honest, because uh, one phrasal verb has multiple meanings, and with one verb you can frame multiple phrasal verbs, right? So the long term, the solution, actually the real solution to it is a long term solution only. The more you read, again, the more you immerse yourself in the language, the more you read, watch, listen, okay, you basically pick them up as a child picks up language by just listening to others, by reading, by watching, right? So it's a pretty immersive approach. Again, I would like to use that word, to gaining phrasal verbs. Nobody can, let's say, just learn 250 phrasal verbs and think that now I have mastered them. It's just like vocabulary, right? So that is there. They are relatively challenging. A, B, A, all right. Okay. A, B, all right. C. Okay, come on. Relax, everybody. Let's focus on the question. A, B, C. What is the answer? This doesn't even seem like a real dispute. Okay. So, let's discuss this. Let's discuss this. Let's see what you all say. So, Victor has answered B, Mahima says C, Dharmi A, Megha and Anuja say A. So, quite a few A's I have got in our discussion. Okay. And yes, B says he tried to paper over the nation's deep-seated economic problems. So he tried to paper over something. What does it mean to paper over something? Yes, to paper over something. If I say that the father tried to paper over the dispute between his two sons, that means he was trying to gloss over the dispute. He was trying to hide the dispute, right? Gloss over, hide, conceal. That is the meaning of paper over. So this is correct. No error here. I don't want anyone in office to get wind over the fact. This was an easy question, okay? To get wind of the fact. That is the idiom here, to get wind of something, right? So get wind of is basically to become aware of, to learn something, to basically get wind of a rumor, to hear a rumor, right? So I don't want anyone in office to get wind of the fact that I am quitting. Okay, to get. All right. So hope this is clear. A is the answer here. A is the answer here. See, the rent was carried over to the next month. Basically, we postponed it in a way. We carried it forward, okay, to the next month. Now this person will pay it in the next month. That's the idea. Very common phrasal verb. D. A large shadow hung over his career. So to hang over, okay, to hang over something. That is to be a cause of worry, to upset someone, to be a cause of worry. So a shadow hanging over his career, that means basically he's worried about his career because of allegations of corruption and bribery. Okay. Wind beyond. Is there something like paper out? To paper out someone's differences. So paper out I can't use in this sense. Okay. In the sense of hiding, concealing, we can use paper over only. Paper out I haven't really heard. I haven't really read it in the context of phrasal verbs. Okay. Then what is the next question? Wind beyond. In what context have you heard this? Wind beyond. Yes. I didn't get a wind of this fact beyond it. Is that what we are trying to say? Because again, wind beyond is not a standard expression that I have heard of. Maybe you've heard it in some context. Okay. So the wind beneath someone's wings means to support them. Beyond, I don't know. Carried on. Carry on is to keep doing an activity. Okay, to continue with an activity. So we say, please carry on. The rent was carried on to the next month. So it was continued to the next month. Carried over Carried forward, they appear better here rather than carry on, particularly because carry on has that meaning of continuing the activity. So I don't think carry on fits here. Carry over, carry forward, these are better. Okay. All right. Wind beyond the limit. I'll look this up. I haven't heard of this phrase. Okay. Uh, carry on. All right. All right. Yes. 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 Okay. So hung over, carried over, paper over, they are correct. To get wind of is to become aware of, right? And let's see what our next question is about. But before that, please go and press the like button, right? Phrasal verbs, a topic that quite a few of you asked for. That's why we kept it as a separate topic. Playlist available on this channel for phrasal verbs. I don't think there's a separate playlist for phrasal verbs. No. Okay. Now, so from now on, the questions have 5 options. Okay. So, nose is the verb here. We are using it as a verb. He nosed out. Okay. Here it has been used as a noun. Keep his nose clean. Okay. Again as a noun here. Get into my nose. All right. So, my bad. I correct myself. In 4 out of the 5 sentences, it has been used as a noun. In one of them, it has been used as a verb. But all of these are standard expressions. This is an idiom. To keep your nose clean, again an idiomatic usage. Okay, so get into someone's nose, buy a nose, again standard expressions. Let's see what you say. Yes, bribery is rishwat, correct. Okay, I haven't heard this song Wind Beneath, but it's a very common expression, wind beneath someone's wings. So that was my reference. Let's see. What you say for this one, which is incorrect. Okay, A, all right. A lot of you are saying A. Why? Just because there it has been used as a verb. I suggested some sources in the beginning, Prasanna. Please refer to them. Nose is used in A. She won the race by a nose. That means just by a very small margin. E is correct actually. E is correct. No error in E. She won the race by a small margin, by a very small margin, by a whisker as we call it. Right? Now, let's look at these 4. He nosed out, to nose out the details. Basically, to discover something by continuously prying upon something. When you just keep on trying to dig information, okay? Like detectives can do this at times. And then you discover something. So he discovered the details anyway by prying upon the people on the scene. Right? B, who does he think he is? Always walking past people with his nose in the air. So if someone has his or her nose in the air, that means this person is quite arrogant, is quite snobbish, as we call them. Okay, so arrogant, snobbish. A and B fine, E fine. The answer is between C and D. The prisoner was warned to keep his nose clean. Okay, so not literally. To keep one's nose clean means to stay out of trouble. To stay out of trouble. Okay. Then people who talk loudly in public places get into my nose. No, not at all. They get up my nose. Okay. They get up my nose. Okay. To get up someone's nose, that means to basically annoy them to no extent. To annoy them a lot. Okay. So D, Delhi is the answer here. Good. Those who said D. Those who said D, good. We put in the beginning of some words. What do we put in the beginning of some words? A. Yes, A can be put in the beginning of words. Mm, Then D, okay, wouldn't be on my nose. No, nose out is to discover. By small difference, yes, Pranay, correct. A seems correct. A is correct. Yes, yes, yes. D is the answer. Okay. E reminds of some cartoon race who literally had won the race. Okay, by his nose. All right. Tom and Jerry, perhaps. Okay. So I hope these are clear to you. Nose out, to have someone's nose, to basically keep one's nose in the air, to keep one's nose clean, to get up someone's nose, and by a nose. Right? Okay. Next question. Run. Yes. What is the incorrect one? Tell me. To win by a hair. Yes, Amrit, correct. To win by a hair, to win by a whisker. They are also correct. All right. Let's see what you say for this one. Hmm. So phrasal verbs can save you time also, right? Into was not required to get up someone's nose, get up someone's nose. B, D, okay. All right. So B seems to be the popular choice. Okay, basically confused between B and D. D says the negotiations ran over a brick wall as the two sides stubbornly stuck to their position on nuclear weapons. So basically, there was a stalemate. There was a stalemate when no progress is possible, right? So the idiom for actually getting into that tough situation where no progress seems possible, it is to run into a brick wall, to run into a brick wall. What will happen if you run into a brick wall? You collide with a brick wall, right? There's, of course, you can't proceed further. So to run into a brick wall is the idiom that I'm looking for here, and not to run over, not run over a brick wall. So D is the answer. Good. Now let's have a look at B. I am run down. That means I'm tired. I am run down. I have not had a vacation in years, right? So that means I am tired, exhausted. Now this rundown again has multiple meanings. So rundown means to criticize someone also. Okay, rundown, to criticize. So my cousin keeps running me down. My cousin keeps criticizing me. Okay, rundown also means to reduce in size. So business has been run down since COVID. Okay, so to reduce in number, in size, that's also one meaning. Okay, so to reduce, to criticize, to be tired, number of meanings for rundown. Yes, a dead end, correct. A dead end, a stalemate. Okay, now B is clear. Now I am running down. No, no. Then if you write I am running down, that means you're probably going down somewhere, right? That's a literal usage of run and down. Okay, I am run down. It's a very specific usage with a hyphen in between. That's when you mean tired. Okay. See, we ran into a few problems. To run into problems, basically to encounter some problems. To run into someone, you basically meet someone by chance, right? So we ran into a few problems. E, due to his lifestyle, he soon ran into financial difficulty. So similar usage. I think the two sentences they make the same usage of run into. So these should have been eliminated right away. That probably neither of these can be the answers. Right? Okay. So our answer is D, Delhi. Set. Yes. Another phrasal verb, another verb for you, set. A number of phrasal verbs of set used. Yes, who has not liked the session yet? It says be number one by liking the video. Mm. But run down, we use the past participle. No, when we make these compound words, we use the past participle. Okay, so here I am run down. So with am, you can't say I am ran. Okay, I am run down. Yes, I am running low on cash. That means I have less cash these days. That's what it means. No, run over has a meaning. Okay, one is the very literal meaning. If you run someone over, right? So if you run over someone or if you run someone over, basically, it's you've knocked them with your vehicle, right? That's one meaning. Then, if let's say a container overflows, we say that okay, the bucket's running over. What are you doing? Okay, so that's another meaning, to overflow. Then, when something exceeds a given limit, again, the context is of overflow only. So we've run over our budget, we run over our monthly budget. So that way, it also has multiple meanings, right? It's also a phrasal verb. Let's see what you're saying. B, D, okay, again. Run for, yes, he's running for the president. So he's running for president means he is contesting the elections and he is basically a contender for the post of president. Isn't D set up? Yes, absolutely correct. D is set up. This is an easy question. He has set up a shop. You can't set off a shop. To set off is to compensate in a way. So the dark dress sets off her pale complexion and her light eyes. Okay, so somebody is worried about these things. So they set it off. They compensated in a way. The dark dress compensates for, it sets it off, cancels it out. Okay, so this is correct here, but set off cannot be used in this context. To set up, to basically, set it up, right? How do I explain this? To start a shop, okay, and make all the necessary arrangements for it. I think I've achieved what I set out to do. Set out, you set out on a journey, you basically begin a journey. That is when you say, I have set out on something. Set about, basically to get to doing something. Okay, so finally I got up and I set about cleaning the house. So I started doing it. The judge set aside, that means he cancelled it in a way. Okay, he said that this is no longer valid. He overruled it. Right, so that the judge here, it means overruled. Okay, the previous ruling and called for a new trial. Okay, I hope this is clear. B, I set about. So when you set about a task, you basically start doing it with a lot of determination. That's when you set about it, right? That's the meaning. Clear? To start doing something with determination. Okay. Any other that you asked? Just a second. C can mean highlight also. The dark dress sets off. No, it does not highlight. It basically rather cancels it out. That's my understanding of it. To set off something. To highlight. Offset, yes. But it's a black dress and the pale complexion. So yes, it could actually highlight it also. So probably yes, we're using it in the sense of something that emphasizes. Hmm. Yes, it can mean that. It can mean that. Okay. Then set off, the protesters set off the train. They set off the train on fire or they set the train on fire. Set off. No, 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 no. Basically, you set something to fire. Okay. You set something to fire. That means you start a fire. That's the idea. Okay. You put basically, if I use it, set to is used in this context only. You set something to fire. Yeah. Bet off and bet off. Okay, from where does bet come in? Do you mean set? Thank you, Bhumika. Thank you so much. Okay, so first of all, are these clear? Set aside, set about, set off, okay, and set out to. I think these are clear to us. This, yes, can mean emphasize also. In fact, when I read the sentence contextually, yes, it makes sense. Okay. I read the sentence carefully now that probably she wants to highlight it and not really cancel it out, right? So correct. And coming to this question, take. Meanwhile, you can ask me your queries now while you attempt take also. So I want you to just one last question for the day. Okay, then we are done. Meanwhile, I'll answer your queries. Can you please run into a brick wall is when you basically approach some insurmountable barrier. That is when you run into a brick wall, right? Okay. Let's see what the answer for this one will be. Hmm. Okay. D, C. Okay, a lot of C's I'm getting. Okay. All right. D, C. Okay. Now I was taken aback. Yes, I was shocked. I was surprised by her rude behavior. Right? He took it against me. This is incorrect. He took against me. When you take against someone, you start disliking that person. Okay. So he started disliking me when I got the project he wanted. Okay. So took against me. It is not required. Right? And one more, yes, one more source from where you can practice phrasal verbs is from CAT previous year questions, the questions prior to 2008. Okay, back then, in fact, yes, I'm correct. So these back then CAT used to ask phrasal verbs, and some really good phrasal verb questions have been asked in CAT at that time. Okay. Taken aback is shocked. Why are you taking out your frustration? So, to take out your anger, your frustration on someone is basically to vent your feelings, to direct all that anger at that person, right? Which is wrong. So, to take out your frustration on someone, this is correct expression. Okay, this is a correct expression. B, she took to teaching like a duck to water. So basically, she started liking teaching. She became good at teaching. So when you take to something, you start liking it. You become good at it, right? So and in fact, it also means to get into the habit of something, right? So like something, be in the habit of something, do something well. That's what to take to something means. And here it's correct. She takes after her mother. To take after someone, to resemble that person. Okay. To take it out on someone. To take it out on someone is correct. Not took it on me. Right. To take it out on someone. All right. So I hope these are clear to you. Yes. Any queries? Ask me. Take back. I are you using them as nouns? Take back and take out. Take out as a noun is the food that we carry. So when we say will you have it here or will you take it out, so it's a take out if you're taking it to your home. Okay, take back as a noun, I haven't really seen it being used as a noun. Okay, otherwise to take back your words means to retract your words. I took it upon myself, Vicky. Yes, to take. I took it upon. It's used with upon in that sense, to take the responsibility of doing something. Like a duck to water is an idiom when you're very comfortable in a particular place. Okay. Thank you so much, Pranita. Your compliments mean a lot. Okay, they are my motivation, right? Just like attending the session is yours, right? Take out against. So if you take out something, basically that's when you are ranting. Okay, so she took it out against him. That means she was perhaps ranting against him, right? Or you could also take it as let's say taking an action against that person. So that could also be the meaning of take out against someone. So take an action that is in the form of a revenge or basically a rant, right? All right. Hope this is clear. So this is it from my side for today. Okay, I hope you've liked the session, and Please do share it with your friends in case they are also preparing for any management entrance exam. Phrasal verbs are asked in all the non-CAT exams out there, right? And I hope you've subscribed. This is last lap to MHCT beginning August 1 at 9 p.m. Okay, daily these sessions are going to happen. And yes, this is our comprehensive program in case you're preparing for CAT 22 and other entrance exams happening in 22 and 23, right? And these are the details. You can call up our counselors for more. You can stay connected with us using this Telegram channel, and you can follow us on various social media platforms. Okay. Placement. How to identify if the placement is wrong? No, it was not the placement, Aditya. It was not required there. It was not required there at all. No. To take against someone is the phrasal verb. Okay. Welcome, Amrit. Thank you. Have a great day, you guys too. Idioms and proverbs. Okay, Vishnu, we've already had 2 sessions on idioms though. Okay, so you can watch them in case you haven't seen them. All right. Bye. You too. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.